Hi everyone, this is Mindy Egan for Honeybee Stamps, and in today's video, I'm playing with a new stamp set from the Petastic release, and that is the Doggone Amazing stamp set. This set is so adorable. On the packaging, I picked out some stamps that I wanted to work with and kind of laid out the design, so where the images would go. Now, here is a look at the entire set. And I really love that we have the variety of dogs doing different things in different directions and also the sentiments. I'm going to be doing something today that I have not done in years, and that is coloring my images with the Zig Clean Brush Zig markers. I can't even remember the full name of them, but it's the Zig markers. And I know with the Zigs, I need to use Bristol Smooth Cardstock. I know that is what I used to use for ink blending, but it's also really great for using with your Zigs. Now, zigs are actually a water-based marker, which means you can use a paintbrush with water, you can use a water brush, but in my case today, I am going to be using a blender brush that I'll talk about in just a moment. Now, these stamps are brand new, so I'm just conditioning them by rubbing my hand over them, and then I'm going to stamp them in a Versafine ink. Versafine ink is a great ink for waterproof. There's lots of other ones on the market. Versafine is just kind of my go-to for it. So I'm going to ink up all of these images with that Versafine Nocturne ink and stamp them down. You could also sprinkle on some clear embossing powder if you wanted to kind of help give you lines, or what do I want to say, almost like a well to do your coloring in. I'm not going to do that today, so I am going to dry that ink with a heat tool. So once I know that ink is dry and it's not going to smear, I can start bringing in my zigs and coloring. Now, I always have a piece of scratch paper, and that's actually the Bristol Smooth scratch paper off on the side, and I use that to test out the browns. Like I said, it has been years since I did any coloring with my zigs, so it did take me a little while to kind of get in the hang of it. And if it's been a while, or if you're new to using zigs, I would suggest stamping out each image maybe a couple times so that you can give yourself some wiggle room and practice. And I apologize, I did not write down which colors I was using. I really was just kind of grabbing from my stash. You can see I was testing out the different shades and the different colors, and I really just didn't pay attention to the names, and I just kind of put them all back in their case when I was done with them. Now, my puppies, which are just, I mean, seriously adorable. I knew I wanted them to be a brown, which is where I started with this one. And there is a blender pen that you can use to blend out your color. The blender pen, I don't think is included in any of the sets. I think this is actually something I needed to pick up separately, and I think I got mine off of Amazon. And I did pick up a couple of them when I had purchased them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can also use a small paintbrush or you can use a water brush pen. The blender pen I just felt was a little safer right now, especially since I hadn't done it in so long, where I could just blend that color out to a lighter shade. So, what you'll do is you'll lay down some color with your marker, and they are a really nice fine brush tip. So, you can really kind of get a nice outline or in those smaller areas. Then you'll take your blender pen or your paintbrush. You're going to pick up that dark color and just spread that out to the rest of the area so it kind of fades off, and it's going to give you that nice transition of a uh, light source, or not a light source, but a shadow area and a light or a highlight area. This did take me a little while to kind of get the hang of, because once you pick up that dark shade, it really kind of spreads. So you don't want to go back over it. Once you pick up that dark color, you just want to spread it out. If you go back to it again, you're just going to spread some more and kind of lose your highlight area. Another thing you can do with your zig markers is you can color with multiple markers. So once I kind of got past that first puppy and was experimenting, I remembered that I could take a dark brown and then I could take like a caramel brown and I could color right next to them. They blend together beautifully, and then use my blender brush to kind of spread out that color to give them more of a warm coloring, warm feeling, I guess. Using your zigs kind of gives your images almost like a watercoloring effect, and they are very easy to use. I was really kind of surprised that since I hadn't used mine in so many years, that they were still really good. So it does give you more of kind of that whimsy feeling and watercoloring look. You want to kind of get out of the mindset of perfection because it's not going to be like an alcohol marker. You're not going to have quite the same blends as you would with alcohol markers, but that is why I chose them for these images. I wanted the images to be more whimsical, more wispy, and kind of just actually play with these markers since I hadn't used them in so long. Now, where I feel I really did a good job, toot my own horn here, was the wagon. I love how I had the darker shades on the side. It kind of gave me that nice highlight in the center. So that I feel was one of my best images that I colored on here. Even though the puppies are really super adorable, the wagon is really kind of the look that I was going for. So I was really happy I achieved that. Now, with using the blender pen, you are going to pick up some excess color. So you can see on my scratch paper there, I am kind of scribbling off, and that is just to get rid of some of that excess color. So if you feel like your color is coming in a little bit too strong, just kind of scribble off on the side to get rid of some of that and make it a little bit lighter. I do that with the butterflies, especially because they are such a small area. I started out with a pretty bold color and I kind of wiped off on that scratch paper to get rid of some of that boldness and be able to have it go into a nice highlight area. The other great thing about the zigs is that they are a fine point brush, so you can really get into the small areas like the flowers or the greenery. And even with it being a brush kind of tip, the brush, what do we want to call them? The brush hairs don't spread out, they don't fan out. So I really loved that. Now, once I have everything colored in, I am going to use the coordinating dies to trim them all out. So I held that down with a low tack tape and I ran those through my die cut machine. You can also use your zigs to create backgrounds. So I picked out kind of a light blue and a bright green, and I'm literally just going to scribble this onto my background. Now, again, I am using Bristol Smooth cardstock to do this background. Bristol Smooth is just a really great type of cardstock if you're starting out with ink blending because it is so super smooth. It's what I started out with, and it almost has like a coating of sorts on it. Not only good for ink blending, but also for these types of backgrounds. But it is not meant to take a ton of water, so you do want to be careful of that. Now, once I kind of scribbled on some color, I do have a thick paintbrush here that I have some water on, and I'm going to spread out that color. Now, this is going to look kind of messy at first, kind of scattered, but you need to keep in mind that we're not going for perfection here. We are going for kind of that whimsical and watercolory type of background. Plus, our images are going to cover a good part of it. So I am going to dry my background with my heat tool. And then I did run it through my die cut machine with a piece of cardstock over the top to help flatten that. And I'm going to bring that in to my Misty stamping tool and stamp the sentiment directly onto the card front itself. I do have a type of sticky mat in here to help hold my cardstock down in place while I line my sentiment up. Then I will pick that up with the Dora the Misty. I'm so sorry about my head getting in the way. Needed to make sure that that sentiment was straight. And I'm going to ink this up with the Versafine ink once again. And just keep in mind that the Versafine ink does stay wet for a little longer, so you want to make sure that this is completely dry before you attach it to a card base. I have a side folding card base created for it, and then I'm going to just line my panel up onto the front of that card base. And you don't want to run your hand over the sentiment just in case it's not dry, because then you will smear it. Now, all the images I am going to pop up with some type of foam square. So for the wagon, because that's going to be more in the background, I am attaching that with thin foam squares. And then I'm going to bring in my other two pups. And for those, I'm going to use kind of more of a regular thickness of foam square. But I'm only adding the foam squares to the side that is not going to overlap the wagon. And with the pup that is in that adorable pail, when you die cut it, it die cuts out the paws so that the paws kind of stick out over the rim of the pail. And then I'm going to add my two butterflies. I only stamped two because we do have one that is down in the pail with the flowers. And so that kind of ties in the rule of three when it comes to like embellishments. I use that rule a lot when it comes to smaller images too. And so that is going to finish up my card project using the Doggone Amazing set and my Zig markers. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching.